I'm deeply honored to be sharing the dais with a very veteran and scholarly persons like Mr. K.G. Suresh and Shilpa ji. Thank you so much, and really delighted to be amidst young people, and I feel that this is a real and right audience where we should be sharing our views. We have never seen a society in the country, in the world, which has been so much self-retrospective and reformist like the Indians and the Hindus in the country. But we have never seen that continuously for the last several centuries, for one reason or the other reason, the assaults on the Hindus and the assaults on those who have been born, their faith is born in India, has continued. And I will give you 3 examples only. There was a debate amidst scholars thousands of years before, and in Tamil Nadu they believed that Lord Shiva was present in that debate. And if there are Tamil Sahodar, Sahodrigale here, they would understand that the first Tamil Sangam was held in Madurai's Meenakshi temple, and Lord Shiva was the chairman of the first Tamil Sangam, means the literary society or the literary gathering. The scholars debated on many issues for months together, and finally Lord Shiva was considered to be the right person who gave them the right guidance, and everyone accepted that. Certainly from there, in the last seats, one person stood up and he said, I don't agree with the unanimous resolutions passed in this gathering, in this Tamil Sangam, and I oppose the Shiva's judgment and his statement. Everyone was stunned and shocked and said that how dare all the scholars from all the corners of the world are here and they have agreed to what Lord Shiva has said. But he said, no, I don't agree. Shiva said, okay, my dear scholar, sir, let us discuss the subject. And they kept on discussing the subject for many months. Again, they did not say that 99.99% have agreed and unanimously passed the religious, the spiritual, the literary resolutions here. But one person stood up and Shiva respected his views, and for many months the debate continued. At the end of it, that person whose name was Nakiran, he said that, yes, I think what you say has some substance, but still I would like to be disagreeing with you. Everyone said that this person should be ousted, exiled from this gathering of the scholars. He does not deserve to be here because he is not accepting the unanimous resolution passed by the gathering. It was only Shiva who said, no, he has to be here. He has his opinion, and let him have his opinion. And Nakiran, since those days, stayed on in Meenakshi temple. That is the legacy of India. That is the heritage and legacy of Bharatvarsha. During Raja Janak's time, several scholars and rishis, they were discussing the matter related to cosmos, related to life after death, related to spiritualism. And there we found that the great scholars like Gargi and Maitreyi, they challenged Yagyavalkya, who was the supreme scholar in those days. And he had to accept the challenge. And those scholars, Gargi and Maitreyi, they remain as a shining example of India's heritage, legacy, and scholarship. Nobody ever said that, no, they challenge the supreme scholar, so they should not be respected. No, they have to be respected because that's the legacy of Hindus, that's the legacy of Vedanta, that's the legacy of Bharatvarsha. I happen to be the chairman of a Jew society, perhaps the first Hindu who has been appointed by the Jews of Bombay. The Heritage Foundation of the Jews in Bombay. I am nominated as an honorary chairman. And on 9th, I am going to Cochin. There was a synagogue, about 1200 years old synagogue. And that was in a very dilapidated condition because the Jews had left, the Cochin Jews had left for Israel, and hardly one or two families are there in Cochin. There is a Swamiji in Cochin who is a great scholar of Vedanta. He took it upon himself to renovate the synagogue, and seeing my interest in the subject, perhaps I will be the only non-Jew there to participate in the inauguration of the rejuvenated and renovated synagogue in Cochin in Kerala, though there are hardly any worshippers there, but the Jews from world over are coming from Washington, New York, Israel, Tel Aviv. They are coming there to participate in the inauguration, and I will be going there. That's another shining example that even if you are in a minority of one, the people of Bharatvarsha care for you and renovate their place of worship. That are us. These Hindus, they were assaulted, attacked, raped, ruined, and burnt alive, like in Goa's Inquisition, just for saying, Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma karshit dukkha bhag bhavet. Let everyone be happy, let everyone be without any diseases, let everyone enjoy the same joy. No one amidst us ever said that only those who follow my faith, follow my ideology, must go to the heavens and the other must burn forever eternally in the fires of hell. Nobody ever said. And today, the Sabrimala has nothing to do with the women freedom. I'm sorry, yes. Sabrimala case has nothing to do with the freedom of expression or the freedom of women's movement, because no community in this world, on the entire planet, in any continent, has ever been so considerate about the individual freedom like us. And I say it without any arrogance, but with a sense of humble pride. Humble pride. No society in the world has ever been so free, so open-minded, so large-hearted, whether you worship a god or don't worship, whether you follow one book or you follow 1,000 books, whether you follow one kind of a way of worship or you don't follow any kind of a way of worship, or you declare yourself a god, nobody is going to raise any objection. Nobody is going to say, no, this person should not be allowed to go to a temple or go and join the Kumbh Mela in Prayagraj. Nobody would ever say that. Such a freedom has never existed before. Such a freedom, even today in the contemporary world, does not exist in any part of the world. Sabrimala is an assault on those who believe in the freedom, in the individual freedom by those secular proselytizers, a Brahmic group who have always targeted Hindus as a place to be converted to their faith, whether it's a Islam or whether it's a Christianity, but they think that for many centuries they have been subjugating, colonizing all the people in this world except us. So much so that even Iqbal had to say, कुछ बात है कि हस्ती मिटती नहीं हमारी. ये जो कुछ बात है कि हस्ती मिटती नहीं हमारी, इसका मतलब क्या है? इसका मतलब यह है कि हिंदुस्तान में दुनिया में सबसे ज्यादा वैचारिक स्वतंत्रता, अभिव्यक्ति की स्वतंत्रता, पूजा की स्वतंत्रता और स्वयं को एक अलग विचारधारा का उद्गाता मानने की भी स्वतंत्रता मिलती है। यह भारतवर्ष पूरे दुनिया में एक ऐसा देश है जहां पे सुधार के लिए, महिला स्वातंत्र्य के लिए बड़े से बड़े आंदोलन हुए। सुब्रमण्य भारती से लेके स्वामी विवेकानंद तक, और स्वामी दयानंद ने इन्हीं हिंदुओं को चुनौती देते हुए पाखंड खंडनी पताका हाथ में ली और कहा मूर्ति पूजा गलत है, आप शिव जी पे जो दूध चढ़ाते हैं वो गलत है, उनके ऊपर तो चूहे भी दौड़ जाते हैं, और उन्होंने कहा मूर्ति पूजा का निषेध करो। किसी ने यह नहीं कहा कि स्वामी दयानंद को हिंदू धर्म से बाहर कर दो, बल्कि स्वामी दयानंद को हिंदू धर्म के रक्षक के रूप में मान्यता दी गई। ऐसे हिंदू धर्म पर गजनी, गौरी और अब्दाली की तरह से हमला आज शबरीमाला के माध्यम से हो रहा है। यह महिला स्वातंत्र्य का केस नहीं है, यह हिंदुओं पर हमले का मामला है। There is nothing else. And there, who are the people who are trying to fight out? It's my individual faith, sir. Whether I am going to temple this way or that way, I have to decide about it. But particularly, you target one group, you particularly target one faith, you particularly target one ideology, you particularly target one segment of the society, because you dare not ask the same kind of a freedom from the other faiths, from other streams, from other churches, or those who are going to the mosque or the dargahs. Therefore, all these Abrahamic groups have combined together to attack the Vedanta people, to attack the Sri Padmanabha Swami Dasa people, to attack those who believe in the utmost supreme freedom of the individual. Therefore, Sabrimala case is an attack on those who believe in the basic freedom of the individuals, but it is also an attack on those who believe in the faith of Indian Vedanta and Indian faith. Having said that, sir, I would like to touch only one more point, that all these issues like ban on the crackers is again another example how the Abrahamic proselytizers are trying to demoralize those who believe in the idea of India, in the idea of Bharatvarsha. They want to de-Indianize the society, they want to deculturalize the society, and they want to Talibanize a segment so that India does not remain the same ancient representative of the glory and grace of a people who believe in nature, who believe in family values, who believe in the freedom of the society, who believe in the freedom of thought, and who believe that Sarvadeva Namaskaram Keshavam Pratigachati. आप किसी भी देवता को प्रणाम करो, आप किसी भी आस्था से जाओ, लेकिन अंततः आप ईश्वर को प्राप्त हो गए। हमने तो कभी धर्मांतरण किया नहीं, धर्मांतरित हुए नहीं, क्योंकि हम ये मानते हैं कि प्रत्येक व्यक्ति के हृदय में ईश्वर का निवास होता है। ईश्वर का निवास यह नहीं होता है कि मैं तुम्हें मतांतरित करूं, उसके बाद तुम्हें ईश्वर मिलेगा। मैं हर एक में ईश्वर मानता हूं। तुम अल्लाह को मानो, मोहम्मद साहब को मानो, जीसस को मानो, जरथुस्त्र को मानो, सब जो है वे ईश्वर के ही अंश होते हैं। इसीलिए स्वामी विवेकानंद ने जब शिकागो गए थे तो सबको कहा था सिस्टर्स एंड ब्रदर्स ऑफ अमेरिका, क्योंकि वो सब में अमृत का अंश देखते थे। और उन्होंने कहा था कि आई रिफ्यूज दैट एनी वन ऑफ यू इज अ सिनर बिकॉज ऑल ऑफ यू आर द चिल्ड्रन ऑफ अमृता, अमृत के पुत्र हैं आप। ऐसे ही भारतवर्ष में यह भारतीयता पर सबसे बड़ा आघात है, और चाहे वह पटाखे चलाने हो या दूसरा कोई मुद्दा हो, मुद्दा कभी भी स्वतंत्रता का, महिलाओं का या प्रदूषण का नहीं है। अगर आपके लिए प्रदूषण बड़ा मुद्दा होता तो जो गाड़ियों में एसी लगे हैं, दफ्तरों में एसी लगे हैं, आप उनको अपना मुद्दा बनाते, साल में एक बार के पटाखे नहीं बनाते। और पटाखे, हिंदुओं से जैसा सुधारवादी कौन हो सकता है? बहुत सारे हिंदू तो स्वयं ही पटाखे नहीं चलाते हैं। राजा राम मोहन राय से लेके ईश्वरचंद्र विद्यासागर और महात्मा फुले से लेके अंबेडकर तक सबने हमारे समाज को अच्छा बनाया है, लेकिन ये कभी दूसरे समाजों में नहीं हुआ। ये डरपोक, कायर और रीढ़हीन लोग हैं जो हिंदुओं के विरुद्ध सियारों के एक भीड़ की तरह से गुजर के आ गए हैं। उन्हें मालूम नहीं है कि जब हिंदुओं का सिंह जागेगा तो ये अंधेरा खत्म होगा और ये तमाम आक्रमणकारी वैसे ही गजनी भागेंगे जैसे सोमनाथ को ध्वस्त करने वाला गजनी वहां चला गया था। भारतवर्ष, सोमनाथ जो है, सोमनाथ की जो भावना है वह अमर ते अमर अविनाशी भारतवर्ष का प्रतीक है। 18 बार सोमनाथ का ध्वंस करने वाले ये आक्रमणकारी बर्बर सैवेजेस आए, लेकिन वे सब मिट्टी में मिल गए। सोमनाथ पर भगवा ध्वजा उत्तर अंटार्कटिक तक दिखती है और सागर पार केवल वह सोमनाथ की ध्वजा आज भी हमारे भारतवर्ष की चेतना की विजय का प्रतीक है। यह युद्ध आज पुनः सोमनाथ की विजय का प्रतीक है। यह शबरीमाला नहीं है, यह शबरीमाला नहीं है, यह दक्षिण के सोमनाथ का युद्ध है जिसमें भारतवर्ष की विजय अनिवार्य और अवश्यंभावी है। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं वाणी को विराम देता हूं। वंदे मातरम।